What if a single food, one that costs less than $2, could quietly work on your muscles, your gut, your blood sugar, and your brain while you sleep? Not a supplement, not a prescription, just a small bowl of Greek yogurt eaten at the right time in the right way. That is exactly what the science is showing. And in this video, I am going to walk you through precisely what happens inside your body when you eat Greek yogurt every night. The full story that your doctor has probably never had time to explain. There are real benefits here that go far deeper than most people realize. But there is also one critical mistake that cancels out nearly every benefit. And the majority of people make it without ever knowing. Stay until the end, because that final point alone could change how you think about this habit forever. Let's start with something that surprises almost everyone. Greek yogurt is not the same as regular yogurt. This is where the confusion begins for a lot of people. They look at a container at the grocery store and assume all yogurt is more or less equal. But Greek yogurt goes through a specific straining process that removes most of the liquid whey and lactose. What you are left with is a thicker, denser food that is genuinely different in its nutritional profile. A standard serving of plain Greek yogurt delivers somewhere between 15 and 20 grams of protein. That is the same as eating 2 to 3 eggs. It is significantly lower in sugar than regular yogurt. It contains a meaningful amount of calcium, phosphorus, and potassium. 3 minerals the body actively uses every single night while you are asleep. And this is exactly why the timing matters so much. The body does not simply shut down when you sleep. It repairs, it rebuilds, it regulates. And what you give it right before that process begins determines how well that process actually works. Now, here is something that surprises a lot of people, especially those over 40 or 50. Muscle loss is not just a gym problem, it is a daily biological process. The medical term is sarcopenia, the gradual age-related loss of muscle mass and function. And it begins far earlier than most people expect, often as early as the mid-30s. By the time a person reaches 50, the body can lose roughly 1 to 2% of muscle mass every single year if nothing is done to slow it down. And muscle is not just about looking strong. Muscle is directly tied to your metabolism, your balance, your ability to get up from a chair without help, your independence, and your protection against dangerous falls. One of the most powerful windows for supporting muscle health is during sleep, because this is when the body releases growth hormone and carries out tissue repair. Protein consumed in the evening, particularly before bed, provides the raw materials the body needs to do that repair work effectively. Greek yogurt is rich in casein protein, which behaves very differently from other protein sources. Unlike whey protein, which the body absorbs quickly, casein forms a slow-digesting gel in the stomach. This means amino acids, the actual building blocks of muscle, are released gradually and steadily throughout the night, feeding your muscles for hours while you rest. Studies published in peer-reviewed nutritional journals have confirmed that consuming casein protein before sleep significantly improves overnight muscle protein synthesis, especially in older adults. So when you eat Greek yogurt at night, you are quite literally feeding your muscles while you sleep. But the real surprise comes next, because Greek yogurt does not just support your muscles. It does something to your blood sugar that most people have never been told about. Blood sugar control becomes increasingly important as we age. The pancreas produces insulin less efficiently over time. The body's cells gradually become less responsive to insulin signals, a process sometimes called insulin resistance, and this sets the stage for persistent fatigue, belly weight gain, constant hunger, and eventually more serious metabolic problems. Here is what happens when you eat Greek yogurt in the evening. The high protein content slows digestion considerably. It does not cause a blood sugar spike the way refined carbohydrates do. Instead, it produces a slow, controlled rise followed by a stable overnight release. This reduces the chance of those middle-of-the-night blood sugar drops that leave people waking up exhausted and craving something sweet the moment they open their eyes. Research has also shown that consuming protein before bed can improve insulin sensitivity the following morning, meaning the very first meal you eat the next day is handled better by your body. That is a chain reaction that starts the night before with one simple food. For people over 50, this is genuinely significant. Managing blood sugar overnight is one of the quietest and most powerful investments you can make in your long-term metabolic health. Now, here's why this matters even more after 50. As the metabolism changes, the gap between stable blood sugar and disrupted sleep becomes much narrower. Blood sugar instability at night is one of the most overlooked reasons why older adults wake up in the middle of the night, feel restless, or never reach truly deep and restorative sleep. When blood sugar drops too low during sleep, the body responds by releasing cortisol, a stress hormone, to bring levels back up. That cortisol surge pulls you out of deep sleep. It raises heart rate. It triggers the brain into a state of alertness at exactly the wrong moment. Greek yogurt, eaten about an hour or two before bed, helps buffer against that overnight drop. It keeps blood sugar more stable through the night, which supports deeper, longer, less interrupted sleep. And better quality sleep at 60 means sharper memory the next day, a better mood, lower whole body inflammation, and stronger hormone regulation. Everything is connected. One habit touches all of it, and this is the part almost nobody talks about. Greek yogurt is one of the most powerful probiotic and prebiotic foods available in a standard grocery store. The live active cultures in Greek yogurt, primarily Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium strains, are beneficial bacteria that colonize the gut lining and support the broader microbial ecosystem living inside you. The gut microbiome is currently one of the most intensely researched areas in all of medicine, and what scientists are discovering is remarkable. The gut is home to trillions of microorganisms that influence nearly every system in the human body: digestion, immunity, mood, inflammation levels, and even cognitive function. As we age, the diversity of our gut bacteria naturally declines. This contributes to more bloating, slower digestion, weaker immune responses, and higher levels of what is called systemic inflammation, a low-grade chronic inflammatory state that quietly drives joint pain, brain fog, fatigue, and dozens of serious conditions. Consistently eating Greek yogurt introduces beneficial bacteria that help maintain that microbial diversity. These bacteria break down food more efficiently, produce certain B vitamins, reinforce the gut lining against harmful particles, and actively reduce inflammation. Many people notice within just 3 to 4 weeks of eating Greek yogurt consistently that their digestion feels noticeably smoother, less bloating, less discomfort after meals, a more regular, predictable digestive rhythm. These are not small improvements. A healthy gut is genuinely the foundation of a healthy body, and Greek yogurt is one of the most accessible and affordable tools available to protect it. If that surprised you, the next point is even more important, because we need to talk about your bones. Calcium is the mineral people most commonly associate with bone health, and Greek yogurt is a solid source of it. One serving provides roughly 15 to 20% of daily calcium needs. But here is where a widespread misunderstanding causes real problems. Calcium alone does not protect your bones. It is only useful when it is properly absorbed and directed to bone tissue, and that absorption depends on other nutrients, particularly phosphorus, vitamin D, and magnesium. Greek yogurt contains both calcium and phosphorus together, and these two minerals work in direct partnership. Phosphorus regulates calcium metabolism and plays a central role in bone mineralization, the process through which bone becomes dense and resistant to fracture. Bone density loss accelerates significantly after 50, particularly in women following menopause due to the sharp drop in estrogen, but also progressively in men as testosterone levels gradually decline across decades. Every passing year increases fracture risk. And fractures, especially hip fractures in older adults, are directly and devastatingly linked to loss of independence, mobility, and overall quality of life. Consuming calcium and phosphorus together every evening in a bioavailable, easily digestible form like Greek yogurt is one of the simplest ways to deliver consistent bone support over time. The key word is consistency. One night does nothing measurable, but 6 months, a year, 2 years of this habit that compounds into real protection. Now, here is a myth worth addressing clearly. There is a widespread belief that eating at night causes weight gain, that anything consumed in the evening hours gets stored directly as body fat. This idea is persistent, but it is not accurate, and it causes people to skip important evening nutrition at exactly the wrong time. The truth is this: Weight gain is determined by total caloric intake relative to total caloric expenditure over time, not by the clock on the wall. What matters in the evening is what you choose to eat, not simply the fact that you are eating. Greek yogurt, plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, is a low-calorie, high-protein food that actually supports healthy weight management rather than working against it. The protein triggers satiety signals in the brain that reduce overall hunger and make late-night snacking on high-sugar, high-fat foods far less likely. Protein also carries what nutrition science calls a high thermic effect, meaning the body expends more energy digesting protein than it does digesting carbohydrates or fats. Eating Greek yogurt at night can help manage hunger, keep the metabolism more active during sleep, and reduce the impulsive late-night eating that genuinely does drive weight gain over time. The yogurt is not the problem. The additives people stir into it, which we will cover shortly, are where things frequently go wrong. Let's talk about potassium now, because this benefit is deeply underappreciated. Greek yogurt is a meaningful source of dietary potassium, an electrolyte that the body uses to regulate blood pressure, fluid balance, and muscle contractions, including the constant rhythmic contraction of the heart. High sodium intake is well known as a risk factor for elevated blood pressure, but what receives far less attention is that low potassium intake is equally harmful. Sodium and potassium work in opposition inside the cardiovascular system. Sodium causes blood vessels to retain fluid and tighten. Potassium signals blood vessels to relax and helps the kidneys flush excess sodium from the body. A large portion of older adults are chronically low in potassium, not dramatically deficient, but consistently below the level the body needs to function optimally, largely because processed food diets are high in sodium and low in potassium-rich whole foods. This potassium shortfall contributes to elevated blood pressure, leg cramps at night, unexplained muscle weakness, fatigue, and in more serious cases, irregular heart rhythm. Eating Greek yogurt regularly provides a consistent daily source of potassium that quietly supports cardiovascular function without any effort beyond the habit itself. Now let's talk about the brain, because this connection is one of the most remarkable and least understood. The gut and the brain are in continuous direct communication through a bidirectional pathway known as the gut-brain axis. The vagus nerve runs from the brainstem all the way down through the chest and into the abdominal cavity, and signals travel constantly in both directions along this extraordinary nerve. The bacteria in the gut produce neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that regulate mood, focus, stress response, and emotional stability. Remarkably, approximately 90% of the body's serotonin, the molecule most associated with a sense of calm, well-being, and emotional balance, is actually produced in the gut, not the brain. When the gut microbiome is healthy, serotonin production is supported. When it is disrupted by a poor diet, chronic stress, or the natural bacterial decline of aging, serotonin levels can fall, contributing to low mood, increased anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and disrupted sleep. The live cultures in Greek yogurt directly nourish the gut environment responsible for producing these neurotransmitters. This is one of the reasons people who consistently eat fermented foods report improvements in mood and mental clarity that they find difficult to explain. The gut is, in a very real sense, feeding the brain better. Greek yogurt also contains small but meaningful amounts of tryptophan, an amino acid the body converts first into serotonin and then into melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that signals the brain and body to begin winding down for sleep. When tryptophan is consumed alongside a small carbohydrate source in the evening, it crosses the blood-brain barrier more effectively and supports the natural sleep onset process. This is why a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt paired with a few berries or half a banana before bed can gently and consistently support better sleep quality. Not in the way a sleeping pill does, but in a way the body recognizes as natural. For anyone dealing with restless evenings or frequent waking in the early morning hours, this combination deserves at least 3 to 4 weeks of consistent trial before drawing conclusions. Now here is the big mistake, and this one is critical. The single most common and most damaging mistake people make with Greek yogurt is buying the wrong kind. Flavored Greek yogurts, the strawberry, blueberry, peach, and vanilla varieties that fill entire sections of grocery store shelving, are frequently loaded with added sugar. Some contain 20 to 25 grams of added sugar per serving, that is comparable to a candy bar. When 25 grams of sugar are consumed right before bed, nearly every benefit discussed in this video is canceled or reversed. Blood sugar spikes sharply. Insulin surges. Inflammatory pathways are activated. The harmful sugar-feeding bacteria in the gut are encouraged to grow at the expense of the beneficial ones. Sleep quality deteriorates. Fat storage increases during the overnight hours. The protein benefits continue to some degree, but they are significantly undermined by the metabolic disruption the sugar creates. The solution is completely straightforward. Buy plain Greek yogurt, full fat or low fat, but always unsweetened and unflavored. Read the ingredient label. It should list milk and live cultures and nothing else. If sweetness is needed, add a small drizzle of raw honey, a handful of blueberries, or half a ripe banana. These provide natural sugars alongside fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that slow absorption and prevent the blood sugar spike. This single change from flavored to plain Greek yogurt may be the most important step between eating this food and actually receiving the full benefits it is capable of delivering. And here's a bonus tip worth knowing. The timing and pairing of Greek yogurt can meaningfully amplify its effects. Eating it approximately 60 to 90 minutes before sleep is the optimal window. This gives the digestive system enough time to begin protein absorption without causing stomach discomfort during sleep. Combining it with a small natural carbohydrate, a handful of berries, half a banana, or 2 kiwi fruits improves tryptophan uptake, supports serotonin production, and provides the gut bacteria with fiber they need to thrive overnight. Kiwi fruit specifically has been studied for its ability to improve sleep onset time and total sleep duration, making it a particularly well-suited pairing with Greek yogurt in the evening. 2 minutes of preparation, minimal cost, and consistent results that build gradually and compound over months. Let's bring this all together now. Eating plain Greek yogurt every night is not a miracle. Nothing is. But it is a real, well-supported habit that works quietly on some of the most important biological processes happening inside your body during sleep. It feeds and repairs muscle tissue through slow-releasing casein protein. It stabilizes blood sugar through the overnight hours. It supports the gut microbiome and reduces chronic inflammation. It delivers calcium and phosphorus together to protect and maintain bone density over time. It supports healthy blood pressure through consistent potassium intake. It nurtures the gut-brain connection that influences mood, focus, and emotional resilience. And when chosen correctly and paired with a small natural carbohydrate, it can gently support the deep restorative sleep that makes everything else possible. For anyone over 40, 50, or 60, these are not abstract statistics. These are the systems that determine your energy every morning, your strength every afternoon, your clarity of mind, your independence, and your quality of life in the years ahead. Small, consistent habits compound over time in ways that no single large effort ever can. One bowl tonight will not transform anything. But 200 nights from now, the body you wake up in will quietly reflect every right choice you made. Tell me in the comments, do you already eat Greek yogurt at night, or is this something you are going to start? I genuinely read every comment and would love to hear from you. If this video was useful, please give it a like. It helps more people find this information when they need it. And if you are not subscribed yet, this is a great time to do it because new health videos go up every single week, all designed to help you understand your body better and feel your best at every age. The next video covers another simple evening habit with a surprisingly powerful effect on blood pressure and heart health. Click on it now, and I will see you there.